Yo, it's beautiful. Check this out. Look at the view. Look at this. Trees blowing in the background. That's the grill.
Wow.
Chairs at this backyard. I'm cooling, man. It's like 70, sunny, no clouds. It feels LA feels like vacation just all the time. It's kind of wild. Don't make
For real.
sense, but
So you're on
yeah.
the other side of the country and it's feeling good, and I'm on this side in Florida, and it's hot. It's hot out here. It's hot this way. For
But y'all
real.
got it humid over there too.
For real. I know. I
It's
know.
y'all step outside and gotta change your underwear immediately. It's just booty
Oh,
sweat all over the place.
oh, booty sweat. Booty sweat.
Man, that sound effects. Oh my gosh.
Yo, we doing it right. We doing it right. Guess what? I ain't seen you since the wedding. I've been overseas playing ball. You've
Bro.
been. That's the last time we saw each other.
Oh my
So
god.
for y'all that don't know, Chaz, he was one of my groomsmen. So I gotta introduce you right. He was one of my groomsmen. And real quick, I just gotta let the people know how we met, and I'm gonna give them the short version real quick.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was going to Georgia, for other reasons. You know what I'm saying? And
No, tell the reasons. Tell the reasons. Go ahead.
I was actually going to see a girl there. I went with my sister. We just happened to get on the same flight. No, we met up in Georgia. I had no idea that she was going there. And then I see my sister. We come off the flight in Georgia, and she's like, "Oh, I'm going to this conference." And I'm like, "Dang, like, okay, it's a lot of saved women there. So I mean, I'm up here about to see somebody, you know. But let me go up there, chill with you real quick, and see what happens." So I'm there with my sister. We had the Pinky Promise conference with Heather Lindsay and her husband Cornelius, and all of a sudden I'm just roaming around. I'm roaming around, and then I see this dude Chaz behind serving people, serving them shirts. I don't even know the brand. You was behind helping, sell the shirts or whatnot. And I don't even know how the conversation started, but I just came up to you and
We
lo
started
and behold,
talking about the finals.
we started talking about the finals, bro.
Yeah.
Right. We started talking about the finals, and then all of
Golden
a
State.
sudden, yeah, things went from there to there, and so forth and so forth. And we talked about a lot of stuff. And then we ended up talking for like 2 hours, I think, just sitting there. And then at one point in time, I go and I just say, "Hey, man, you got Instagram or whatnot?" And you was like, "Yeah." The good thing about you, dude, is you so humble that it was almost like you were reluctant to give me your Instagram because I had no idea. So I went to the bathroom and I just went and typed in Chaz Smith. I'm like, "Yo, this dude, who is this dude?" Yo, one of the first things that I saw because I was scrolling so fast was "Water is not wet" video. And I'm texting my sisters. I'm like, "Yo, y'all know this dude?" They're like, "Oh my God, like, yeah, I know Chaz. I've been following him on Vine, stuff like that." I'm like, "Yo." But little did they know, they didn't know you were there. And I'm like, "Yo, this dude, he's here at a conference. He's a believer, but he has all this humor. He's so funny, bringing life to the people and all that type of stuff." So, that was my first interaction with you, and we've been building since then. But I just, for those of you that don't know, that's on my part that's tuned in, Chaz Smith is a social media influencer. He's famously known for "Water is not wet." He's famously known for pronouncing things incorrectly. And if you don't mind me saying this, bruh, you the son of a former Knicks star, Charles Smith, and he repping it right there. So yeah, we did talk about your dad for a minute. But also, for those of y'all that don't know, this dude right here think he's slick because I had to do some research. This dude right here,
What you talking about? What are you talking about right now?
this dude right here, y'all. This dude can play ball.
Oh my gosh.
This dude can
You
play
went
ball,
through that picture is how old? That's
bruh.
7 years old.
Bruh, but he's in here with a Wisconsin great. I don't even know the guard, but I remember his face. He played for
That is a
Wisconsin.
7-year-old picture from high school. Dang,
Y'all,
man.
y'all look at Chad Smith if y'all can see this.
Hey,
Probably
wipe your
not.
camera. It might be greasy. I think that might be the problem.
Or some
No, not
greasy.
with your thumb, bro. That's just gonna make it worse. You gotta like use your T-shirt or something. That looks better. It does look better now. I try to
So
get.
look,
There you go.
y'all see that's Chaz? Yo, this boy played ball. So, yo, it's just crazy, man, the things that you do, and now let's see where your career is going and all that type of stuff. And
Thank
I
you.
was just excited because this is my first one, and I was just like, man, like, you know, who else better than I can get to kick it off right? And I mean, I'm so glad that you was able to join in with me, man. But I just want you to talk real quick for people that's tuning in from my side that may not know you the way that I do. And I just want you to tell people about your journey into becoming a social media influencer real quick, the best way you can.
Let's see. Well, thank you for that introduction, bro. Appreciate it. Ain't seen
Yeah.
you in like almost 10 months now, but May, June, July, 8 or 9, something still. Wow, almost a year. How it started off when I was 13, I said I wanted to host a talk show and go into like entertainment, not social media. Social media wasn't a thing back then. I didn't have a Facebook in 7th grade. Well, I think that was the year I got a Facebook profile finally. But I knew I wanted to do something in entertainment, TV, film, something like that. And 5 years, but I played basketball all the way through high school. My dad wanted me to play. I wasn't really feeling it. Finally, I was like, yo, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't like it. I can't. It's frustrating me. And so I decided to start a YouTube channel in my senior year after the basketball season ended. And I made my first YouTube video. Made my first YouTube video. Then I started on Vine a couple months after that. And then like was just doing it for fun. But like I made a Water Malone video, if people remember that, and that blew up and took off, and people all over the world still saying that's kind of weird to me. I wasn't looking for it at all. I was just like having fun. And so then I just kind of kept going from there, making people laugh and enjoying it. And now I get to do it for a living, and I'm moving towards making music now too. So yeah, that's the short version.
How could I forget that? That was just the extra icing on the cake because now people get to see all the crazy gifts that God is giving you, man. Like, so yeah, to see you evolve, and I've known you for about 2 years now, but to see you evolve from that, like, I had no clue. I remember when Vine was out, I never paid attention to it. I would see it here and there, like in college and all that type of stuff, but I didn't know that it was helping put people like really out there, people who are funny, but people didn't know. It like gave them that platform. So, and
Yeah.
it was only, how long is the Vine? Like 6 seconds?
6.5 seconds to be exact.
So you got six. So what was your mindset to think about certain things for
Yo,
6 points?
the thing with creative, I think this goes for anything. When you put creative limits on yourself, it forces you to make better content. Because if you have to work within a frame of guidelines to make something good, it's like raising the bar. It's kind of like, here's a way to think about it. If you do like a high jump and you set the bar at like 4 feet, you don't got to try that hard to get over the bar. But if it's like 6 feet in the air, you have to try a little harder. You can't do it the same exact way. You have to exert more energy than you did and be more precise and have better form in order to get over a 6-foot bar than you do with the 4-foot bar. Because if you do it the same way, if you try to approach a 6-foot bar the way you approach a 4-foot bar, then you're not going to be successful and it's just going to be trash. It's going to flop or whatever. So having to do like make people laugh or surprise them or shock them or catch their attention within a short span of 6.5 seconds, then it's like trying to do like a higher jump. You know what I mean? So yeah, you just gotta know what works, and you have to like. I could be specific about it, but I don't think that'd be helpful. I think the analogy works. I think that makes sense. Y'all,
Yeah.
comment below if you understand what I'm saying, because
I'll comment below.
I literally just made that up on the spot. But
so I just wanted to add this part in because I think when we first had our conversation, I went to Temple University, and you had mentioned that you went to Penn.
Yeah.
And like that's crazy because we were in school. How old are you again?
I'm 25.
25. So we were in school around the same time. Didn't know each other. UPenn, for those of y'all that's from Pennsylvania,
We were
UPenn.
both going to school in Philly.
Yeah, we were both going to school in Philly, but people may not know how close it was. So, because I used to go to UPenn, I used to go to the South, back in my days when I would just try to party and, what I'm saying, college, doing me. But I never saw you. So when we was talking about that, I was like, dang, so you was right in the neighborhood too. Had no clue. But, yeah, man, you went to UPenn. And then when did you decide to make it a career though to make the move? Because right now you're in beautiful LA. When did you make that move to just try to do it, make it?
Yeah. So when I went to college, I started college in 2013.
Uh-huh.
Um, and that was my freshman year. And that same year, I took my first video production class. And that's when I was like, "Yo, I want to go into filmmaking and do production for real, for real." And that was when I was like, "All right, I think I want to transfer to NYU to do their film program." I talked to my parents about it. They're like, "No, you're at a good school. You could apply to NYU and go for grad school if you want to, but we think you should stay here." And I was like, "Yeah, I guess you're right. Good connections, all that stuff. Great academic program, blah, 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 blah." And so, but I had it set in my mind, all right, after I finish school at UPenn undergrad, then I'm definitely going to NYU's film program because it's one of the top film programs in the world. And so I applied and I ended up getting in. And I had I actually had an internship out here in LA in June and July. And then after that, I'd be home for a month and then start at NYU in September of 2017 for the grad program. Um, and that's what I thought was going to happen. But at the end of my internship in July, I just had this, long story short, I had this realization that like, yo, I've built this, really been blessed with this social media platform and all these followers. If I were to go to school for 3 or 4 more years, that would be great, but I'd lose my following and it would just fall off because I wouldn't have time to keep up with it. But I could always go back to school later if I wanted to. So I decided not to go to school and instead just stay home and focus on my YouTube channel, whatever that meant. And so I was living with my parents after I graduated, in May or June, something like that. I had the internship in June and July. Oh yeah, so I graduated in May, had the internship in June and July, and then I was back home with my parents August, September, October, and then in mid-November I had an opportunity to go to LA for just to do like some social media thing. The opportunity fell through the day before I left, but I decided to go anyway. And while I was there, God told me so clearly to just move because I really did not want to go to LA. I didn't like the idea of LA. The stuff I heard about, I was like, oh, it's all just fake, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I'd rather stay on the East Coast, be near family anyway. But while I was there, it just was so obvious that I should go. And so I ended up buying a one-way ticket without even talking to my parents. It was like clear as day. He just said, move. And so I bought a one-way ticket the very next day and ended up moving out there in December of 2017. So that's how I ended up out here. And it's been so challenging. I was just thinking about it last night. Some of the stuff that happened when in the first like 12 months or so of me being out in LA. It's been a lot of growing and maturing and trusting God and confusion and yeah, but it's been great overall. And I'm with a really dope community out here now too. So
So you said something so key, and I hadn't even introduced that part. First of all, you took a crazy risk, putting school on the back burner, to pursue a career that it's hard for a lot of people to make it in, just in general. But you mentioned the most important thing when you said God told you. And for any of you guys out there who want to be an artist, want to be, a pro at something, you want something professionally, it may go against the norm. Like if you're following God, the gift that He's giving you, then you need to listen, to what He's saying, especially if He presses it upon your heart. Because guess what? Believe it or not, a lot of times when we try to make our own decisions, and sometimes he'll block that. And the stuff that we think that may be inconvenient, because most people don't just stop school to pursue a career and become what you've become.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes a lot of faith. Like, so for those of you guys out there that's listening, it takes a lot of faith for you to step out and make a decision like that. But when you hear God, gives you the okay and you feel it in your heart, then that's what you got to do. And that's a living testimony, man. Like, that's a living testimony for people to just understand that those are the things that's key when you make decisions. We try to make it on our own sometimes,
Yeah.
and that probably wasn't the right decision to make at that, because everything is a time and a season. But guess what? I know that there's a lot of people that make decisions on their own and they're just very determined. But sometimes when God calls you and he wants you to be out there in front of the masses, he might delay it in the beginning just because he's still trying to get you ready, or he may tell you to go because you're ready and you're mature enough, or he knows that even in your immaturity, he'll be able to guide you through. It's like, that's crazy. So salute to you on that, because I don't know if I would do that. I mean, I'm 6'9",
Nah,
y'all.
bro, look, I think like there are a lot of times God's not trying to micromanage and control us or our life. He
Right.
wants us to surrender it to him. But with that, like he gives us choice. He allows us to choose.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't. I would not have gone to LA but I think the difference in my personal situation in this, like in my story, was that I would not have moved to LA. I had no interest in going. I had said so many times, so many people, I don't want to move to LA. I'm never moving there. Don't want to go. It took like just a word from him for me to be like, oh snap, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to be missing out on so much if I don't like just receive what he's telling me, like, and just go. But I think that just like a good parent would do. Here's an analogy. You got like, say there's like a parent that, you know, like you got a parent with a house and they got a kid, and the kid like they're fortunate enough to have like a playroom where all their toys are or whatever. And the parents just like, hey, go play in your room. Kid's not gonna say, oh, what should I play with? Which toy should I choose? What should I do? Blah, blah, blah. And the parents not gonna force them to be like, okay, play with this toy. No, you can't play with those. Do exactly this. Blah, 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 blah. They're gonna give them the freedom to enjoy what they've been given. So you look at a bigger scale and consider just the different gifts and abilities and even responsibilities that God's given each of us. He allows us the choice and freedom to use them in ways that glorify and honor him. We're not gonna, go and take the toys and we shouldn't like take them and throw them at other people and be mean or rude with them or be selfish and not share them with others. But I don't know. That was another analogy. I hope it makes sense. Let it speak to you, however. But
Yeah,
what
man.
I'm trying to say is like, God's not a dictator, yo.
Yeah.
Sometimes he'll tell us specific things to do, yes, and we should be like mindful of that and obey. But a lot of times, he just lets us choose. Like we got free will. He gave us free will. If he didn't want us to choose, he wouldn't have given us free will. So, yeah.
So obviously, you've been funny pretty much all your life. You've been athletically gifted, but you made a choice to go this route. When did you decide to, give your life to Christ and let him like take over, even in the midst of being young, probably not really knowing everything about God and just trying to grow in him? When did you know, start on that journey, with him?
So for me, I think I've been really fortunate. My parents, when I was younger, like there's a lot of people's stories. They would like grow up going to church, but I know that at a really young age, I had a reverence and like fear of and honor for and relationship with God. But it was kind of like the opposite for most people. What I mean by that is so much of my mindset and my relationship with God was set on serving and obeying him and always needing to do the right thing. And if I wasn't doing the right thing, then he wasn't pleased with me. And what I've been growing into recently over the past couple of years is that I'm his son first, and everything that I do comes from a place of already being accepted and loved by him and him being pleased with me. Yes, he's pleased with our obedience, but
Right.
he's already by default, because of Christ, pleased with us as his children. Like, I think about, like, one day when I have a kid or a son and they're like born an infant, I'm not gonna be like disappointed with them because they can't obey or respond to what I say. Like, they can't do anything without me. They cannot survive without me as their father. They're just there. But I'm gonna be so filled with joy and pleased of them just being in my arms. They can't even do anything for the sake of our relationship, but I'm pleased with them just because they're my kid and they belong to me. That's my son or my daughter. That's it. And that's how God sees us. If you are a child of God, if you've accepted Christ in your heart, you follow him, that's your Lord, then that's how God sees you from the day that you come to him to the end of your life. Even if you turn away from him, he still sees you as his son or daughter. May not be pleased with everything you're doing, but
Right.
when we turn to him, like, he's there waiting for us. That infant love for us that he has in the beginning, it never changes. As we grow and mature, he expects more of us, and he gives us more responsibility. But that same fatherly love never changes, no matter how far off we go. Jesus even told a story, he told a story about that, like how it wasn't a true story. He was just telling a story about how there was a father who had two sons. One always did everything right, was always obedient, always took care of the animals in the fields and did all his chores around the house or whatever, washed the dish, did everything he was supposed to do, probably went above and beyond. And then there was a bratty younger brother who was like, yo, I want my inheritance that you've been storing up for me, like the trust fund or whatever, give me all the money right now. And the father's like, all right. So he gives it to him, and the kid goes off and starts wilding out, going to like wild parties, blowing the money on stuff he doesn't need to be doing, and just things that his father wouldn't have been pleased with if he had known specifically what he was doing, just wasting his life. And then a famine comes over the country and the kid goes broke and he's struggling and he's starving, and he's thinking like, yo, the people who manage my dad's house even don't have to worry about food. Like they have, like, the father's like really rich and he had people living in the house and to help manage everything. And like even they don't have to worry about anything, and they're not even family. And I'm over here about to starve and eat scraps that eat the sloppy seconds of pigs and animals. Man, I feel so
Right.
unworthy. I'm just garbage. I feel unworthy. I'm just gonna go back to my dad and tell him like, yo, I'm not even worthy to be your son anymore. Just make me like one of your servants or like housekeepers, man. I can't even look you in the eyes right now. And so he gets up, goes back to his dad, and on the way there, the father sees him and runs to meet him there, hugs him, and then the son's like, yo, I'm trash, I'm garbage, I feel like garbage, therefore I am garbage, so treat me like garbage. And the father ignores it. He's like, no, you're my son. Hey, come, like, give this man, put my like family signet ring on him, give him a robe, give him a shower. We're gonna have a whole party for him because he was lost and now he's back. And that's how God sees us. Even when we want to think that we are unworthy of being called his children, if we are in Christ, we're in right standing with him already. We're his kids, and that's how God sees us from that point on and forevermore. So that's what my experience has been like. I feel like I was kind of like that first older son, always wanting to do the right thing and being concerned about messing up and being so concerned that when I mess up, I feel like I'm not in right standing anymore. But it's so much more about the fact that I'm a son first and that I get to serve him, not that I have to.
You preaching all the way from LA. And that's what I'm reading in the comments. I'm just saying, preach, preach, preach. Bro, you're so right. I mean, we all need to know that God really loves us so much. It doesn't even matter how many times we mess up. I mean, everybody has their journey. Everybody's not on the same level with Christ. You know, we're all at different areas in our lives where we have to grow. But the most important thing to know is that you can always come back home. The thing that I want to stress to people is that it's better late than never.
Yeah, it's never too late.
Never too late. Never too late. And especially in the times that we're in right now, everybody's isolated, everybody's at home doing their own thing, and you can't really do much. You know, these are the most important times that you need to call on call on the Savior, call on God. I mean, you may not know who He is, but when you get to know who He is, you'll find more comfort, more peace in these
Yeah,
times. 33 million people are
yeah,
laid off employment, where there's so many homeless people in the streets right now. There's people. Understand this, Chaz. There's people that's stuck in America that couldn't get back on their flight home to Europe. That's here. We don't even know where they at, what they're doing, because we wouldn't allow people to go back. And if you think about all
mm,
those things, how you people may, how can a God do that? But it's not God. He's allowing certain things to happen, and I know people may have heard this already. He's allowing things to happen to shut down so we can get closer to Him. But guess what? It's the perfect time, and you got good examples like yourself, like me, for my audience and other people who are young, vibrant. We're not bored. We're not whack, but we love God, and that's truth be told. We love God, and we know that He blesses us with everything that we get. And even in the struggles, He's still good. Even in the times we don't have money, what I'm saying? We're struggling to eat some days. People may not really know your story, bro. And I know you can go super deep. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's times where, I mean, everybody may see the glam and glitz, but it's just your living testimony of what God's done. But there may have been times where you didn't have food on the table. Like, really, you just starving. You know what I'm saying? Looking for the next meal, even in the profession that you are in, because you have to grow to a certain point. And, you can stop me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's certain things that you've had to endure that people may not have known that. And that leads into my next question, because how has your faith grown in this career field? You know what I'm saying? Like,
how has it grown in this career field? Hmm. I'd say, just being like straight up, I've learned to be way less judgmental of people.
mm,
Uh, I've been for a lot of my life growing up, been pretty judgmental and like critical of people. In different scenarios, like I had certain expectations of how people should act or behave or whatever. Um, according to my personal convictions and standards, but I put those expectations on other people, and that's like messed up a lot of relationships for me, especially like in high school, some in college, some out here. Um, and it's been hard to balance, like, okay, what's me being judgmental versus me being like, oh no, I can't tolerate this, is compromising if I'm like tolerating this type of behavior or whatever. Um, and that's something I'm still learning. I've not mastered that at all. Um, but I'm definitely learning and leaning more towards defaulting to just loving people and trying to understand when to, all right, put my foot down and be like, all right, hold on, that's not right. This is not gonna fly. But in terms of like compromising my own content, it's like, or how to not compromise my own content, it's like a matter of knowing um, what my why is. Like, what is my whole purpose of being on social media in the first place? Why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I'm here to bring joy to people, share God's joy with people, and make them smile, make people laugh, and just be a light and positive influence. Um, and with that, there's like certain guidelines. Like, I'm not ever gonna make any inappropriate content that can't be watched by both 3-year-olds and old people, or some stuff that you can watch no
yeah,
matter
right.
who's in the room with you. Like, that's one of my guidelines. Another thing is like to never make stuff that I'm not really feeling. I try to. I don't. That's not. I'm not the. I've definitely compromised with that, but I'm trying to be more intentional with not making stuff that I don't really enjoy making. Because if I try to make a skit that I'm not enjoying or feeling, then it's gonna fall flat, and people are gonna recognize it. There have been times where I've done that, and people straight up been like, "Yo, it seemed like you didn't really want to make this video. Don't be out here like." And it was a pronouncing things incorrectly video too. Like, there was one where I was like, I don't really want to make this, but I did it anyway because I was like, I guess it'll do well. People have been asking for them. Let me just make it. And I struggled to make it. I was not having fun. I posted it, and people could tell. It was, yeah. So not making stuff that I'm just not into. What else? Yeah, it's pretty simple. There's not much. Just knowing what my why I'm why I create content, um, and not deviating from what my convictions are. Yeah.
Man, so this is one of my last questions. What have been some of your, and you can share whatever you feel like is right, but what have been some of your highs and lows while being a believer in Christ, doing what you do? If
Hmm.
you've had high moments and then low moments where it's just like, yo, God, like you told me to come out here. I trusted you. Like I didn't want to come to LA. And now I'm like, da 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 da. Like if you had any of those moments to
I'll,
give
my low moments weren't. I've never questioned whether I should come out to LA, except kind of around the time when I was deciding to, like, between the time that I bought the ticket and was going to move out there. It was kind of like, but it was. I actually not even really. I feel like I barely ever questioned whether I should move out to LA. Like I know it was for certain that guy was like, "Yo, jump." To this day, like, I do not doubt that. My lows were when tough seasons came and just I was confused about certain things that were happening in certain relationships, and I had a really difficult experience in the first place that I was living in when I moved out here.
right.
I can go into too much detail about that, but it was I'd never really been, but I was depressed for months while out for yeah, I'm not gonna go into detail about it, but that was extremely hard. And my lows were like, yo, when is this gonna end? When is this gonna make sense? When am I going to feel joy again? I felt like I was fighting just to be at peace all the time. Um,
Dang.
yeah, I'm the reason I'm not gonna go into detail because I don't want to like share anything that I mean maybe I don't think people will know, but I had a roommate and he's a great dude, but he was struggling at that time too, and it was kind of we were both bringing each other down. We just weren't making healthy decisions, and we didn't feel very supported. We were starting to isolate ourselves. It was just horrible. It was really, but like looking back at it, matter of fact, I just drove past my old apartment last night or 2 nights ago, and last night, and was reflecting on like, and just as I was driving past, just looking at it, I was just so thankful, thinking about like, man, that's where I was 1.5, 2 years ago, and here I am now. I know 2 years isn't that like in the grand scheme of life. Like I said, I don't know how old I'll be, but 2 years isn't going to be that long relative to how old I live to be. But looking back within this short span of time, I did grow and mature and learn a lot since then, and I'm just thankful for where I'm at now. Um, some highs, positive moments have been like I've gotten so many opportunities to just enjoy, to have like exclusive and enjoyable experiences. Like I got to go to the Super Bowl for free this year. Um, I did stuff with Nickelodeon, a bunch
Yeah, I
of
seen.
stuff with, like Old Spice. I've met really cool people and celebrities that I've looked up to. Um,
Right.
and met, yeah, just made so many good connections and people who are friends. Some of my best friends I've met through Instagram or the internet. Um, and yeah, it's more so the highs for me have just been like people based more than experiences. Even though like I love eating great food, that's something for sure. Like I took a trip to Guatemala last year with Fight the New Drug. That's like an anti-pornography and anti-sex trafficking organization that simply just states facts about how pornography affects you and how it's tied to sex trafficking. And we went out to Guatemala to do like an influence trip and speak to and establish like I guess a chapter of Fight the New Drug out there, and we got to see the country and go to the like some ruins and go inside some of them, and it was just that was so dope. And there was like the food was bomb. It was amazing, but those have been some really cool, like I guess it feels more like perks, but I'd say just being able to positively impact people and get DMs of people saying messages from people saying things like, "Yo, I was feeling depressed today," or thinking about self-harm, or thinking about ending my life, and then I saw your videos and I just laughed for the first time in days or weeks or months. Stuff like that's like crazy. So,
Bruh, I'm gonna put you on the spot. But has any of the messages from any of the people that follow you, like, has it made you like cry, like, or tear up, like, yo, like, and they really just messaged me, like, letting me know how I impacted their life, like, because I can imagine that's a burden. I don't know if it's a burden, like, it's a heavy burden where you feel almost not like responsible, but the things that you do, it affects people. I mean, obviously in a good way, but you see, like, how these people have certain issues and they're open to tell you about it. And then, like, I'm pretty sure in your heart may get heavy because it's like, man, like, I know I didn't do it. I'm
mhm.
just doing what God has given me and my ability, and it's caused this reaction or this stopped them from doing this, doing that. Have you ever, like, thought about crying or cried? Like, just like, wow, cried in amazement, like how they've overcome that because of something that you've done.
um, cried. I don't
Or
know.
like,
But I've been like really. There are times where I felt really burdened by it to the point where I was like had a superhero complex. There are times where I thought like, oh man, if I don't make videos, then people are going to die. Like literally, that's where I was
what?
for a while. I felt like, oh man, I need to do this to help save people's lives, but which
Is that
is
something that you
that is
about
putting
though?
an unnecessary, huh?
Is that something you pray about? Because, yo, that has to be
No,
crazy.
that was putting an unnecessary burden on me. But until I realized, like, yo, I'm not God. I am not God. I'm if
Right.
He's got their lives under control. Like he knows everything that's going on in people's lives. If he really wants to speak to them and reach them, then he will. If I were never make a video again, he's gonna continue doing what he's doing, and he might just use somebody. So like I can rest in that. That took a lot. That took a lot of pressure off for real. But
Imagine.
yeah, there still though. I just try to just maintain humility about everything and keep trying to get back to just enjoying the creation aspect of it, because that's how it all started. It was just me having fun, being goofy. And if somebody sees that and their life is changed by it, then cool. I'm not even gonna take credit for it because like I wasn't looking to do that anyway. I'm just sharing what's on my heart and sharing the joy that's in me, you know?
Right. So this is my last question. And if y'all
You
didn't
said
know,
that 2 questions ago, bro. What's getting on play?
Chaz is, Chaz is single, y'all. He was at my wedding last year, and you know he was a cool dude, but he was real laid back. Chaz is a single man out here. He ain't looking, but he's available. Well, you know what? Are you single? I gotta ask you. You know, just for everybody. Are you single or are you talking to somebody?
I'm single. Single is a point. Single is
Single.
a bug keep trying to bite me.
I already know your time is
I'm
definitely
going
gonna come.
outside, dog. Hold up. This bug keep trying to get at me. All right, hold up. Hold up. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Your time is definitely gonna come with that. I don't know. You're not even rushing. You're like you're content. I know you told me like you're content right now. You're in that seat.
Mm-hmm.
That, but I can't wait to the day you get married because we gonna turn up, boy. That's gonna be because I know your story, man. I know like you've been a faithful dude, like in different areas, and when that day come, boy, that's gonna be.
Yeah,
So,
it's a good day. She's gonna be a dope person. It's gonna be super cool. Yeah.
so yeah, man. I just want to play this one game
All right. What we got?
with you that we can play, and we're gonna use the price is right music in the background. But I want to play this game. It's would you rather? Would you rather?
All right.
You probably played this game. So I'm gonna ask you a few. So would you rather be unhappily single or married for the rest of your life?
What? You mean you mean happily single or unhappily married?
Well, would you rather be unhappily single or married for the rest of your life? Because what it's trying to say is, if you're unhappy, if you're unhappily single, you may be married for the rest of your life, but not all the way happy just because you're married. So it's
I'm
like,
confused by the question, bro.
okay, we need
It
another.
seems like you saying I'm gonna be unhappy either way. Like what you
Okay, so would you rather be happily single or married for the rest of your life?
to marry for the rest of my life to somebody I don't want to be married to?
Nah, it's just straight cut. Would you
What?
rather? That don't make sense to you?
What? Not really. Like, yeah, I'd rather be married and happy than single and unhappy.
Hey, those are the questions I found, bro. All right, look. So would you rather give a
All right.
pizza? Would you rather give a pizza a pasta?
I'd rather give up pizza
Why is that? Why is
because
pizza, bro?
pasta is healthier. That's why. Pizza got too much grease and cheese and acne in it. Nah.
Okay. Would you rather eat burned food for the rest of your life or eat other people's leftovers?
Yo, all right, that's a tough one. Dang, burned
Tough
food or other people's
one.
leftovers? I'd rather eat burned food, man. People got coronavirus out here and
Oh my.
hepatitis Q, and I don't need none of that.
All right, I got a couple more. Would you rather eat dog or cat food with every meal?
I like dogs, so I go with dog food. But I don't know how does cat food taste. Which one tastes better? I don't know. I'd eat the one that tastes better.
I thought they said cat is what you get from Chinese food. Like when you
Wait,
go to, yo, you didn't hit it.
wait, what is up with your question? Did you say dog or cat or dog food or cat food?
I said, would you rather eat dog or cat food with every meal?
I'd rather eat dog food, I guess. I don't know.
But what I'm saying is, have you ever been to like Panda Express and the Chinese places?
Yeah.
You know that good orange chicken, the sweet orange chicken, they always say that that's cat meat. You didn't know that?
Pause the music. Well, I can't take you seriously.
Bro,
Are you saying dogs as food or cats as food or dog food that comes in a can that dogs eat?
yes. Food that comes in a can that a dog eat or a cat eat. Would you eat that with every meal? That was a question. Would you eat their type of food with every meal that you have?
What does that have to do with Panda Express?
Because I was just letting you know that in real life we eat cat meat. When we go to Panda Express, they get it from Chinese. They kill the cats. I'm just letting you know that we kind of basically eating that, not every day, but if you eat Panda Express, you're eating cat meat. Even though it's not cat food, you're eating cat meat. FYI, you can look that up. That's a fact. Truth. That's the truth.
Bro, what are you saying?